what time it is. It is time for Love and Order, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Judge Vibes. Correction, Honorable Judge Vibes. Put some respect on his name. We come in here to handle business. We come in here to lock it down. We got an interesting case today. But first, we're going to go to my beautiful bailiff, Nikki 27 and Nikki 24/7. Welcome everybody, and welcome everybody. You're more than welcome, and I'm very grateful to have each and every one of you come into my courtroom. I appreciate you. But now it's time to handle business. Let me put my
Got your gavel? Got your gavel?
Got my gavel. I got
all your paperwork?
I got my manila paperwork.
Okay.
I'm Nikki 24/7 ready. You know what I'm saying? I got my notes. Because if I don't have my homework ready, then Nikki 24/7 is gonna come. She's gonna come to haunt me for the rest of the courtroom. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Shout out to everybody in the building. We appreciate everybody. We have an interesting court case today. I'll let bailiff Nikki 24/7 take over from here, and we're gonna.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Love and Order. We are talking about relationships, and we are putting them on trial. And justice is going to be served with a twist. I'm Nikki 24/7, your bailiff for today's proceedings. In this courtroom, presided over by the honorable and esteemed Judge Vibes, we delve into the complexities of relationship dilemmas, giving each side a fair chance to present their case and argue their points. Today, we are tackling a sensitive issue that many couples face. Should you have friends of the opposite sex? We are hearing case number L&O 006-2024. We have Team 1 with Miss Brookie and Sassy Red as petitioners, and Team 2, King Teflon and Aquarian Soul as the respondents. The dispute centers on whether platonic friendships with someone of the opposite sex should be respected, as Team 1 argues, or whether such friendships pose a threat to the relationship, as Team 2 contends. As a reminder, this is a televised court proceeding. Please dress appropriately, conduct yourself with decorum, and refrain from profanity or discussing topics that might cause harm to the larger tagged community. Remember, anything and everything that you say can be held against you. I run a very tight ship, so stay in line, present your arguments clearly, and respect the court, Judge Vibes, and your fellow contestants, okay? Because we will get you out of this courtroom. We have been known to do that a time or two. Sit back, relax. We are about to get it started in here. Let me see if y'all can find that judge emoji. That would be dope. Find that judge emoji, spam it in the comments, and we will see you in a moment. All right, Judge, you got it.
Shout out to my bailiff, the wonderful, the most amazing. If you don't know her, you're not of this app. Nikki 24/7 just finished delivering egg rolls to the courtroom. Got the whole courtroom smelling like egg rolls. We appreciate everybody being in here. Shout out to my guy, landlord in the building. Shout out to Aquarian Soul. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to L, the drug being in here. Shout out to everybody. Special shout out to everybody. Shout out to Chakra Energy. Thank y'all for joining us. We are in the courtroom today. Could my judge juror, can you please box up?
Hey y'all, I am Smiley J, also known as Another Nikki. Today, we are excited. Listen, I'm excited about this case. I'm ready to hear. Listen, y'all, be attentive and understand the assignments. I'll be in the background. I'll be rooting for y'all.
What do you expect to see from them today to help them win their case?
Clarity. So a lot of times what's going to happen is the other side is going to try to get you and knock you off your mindset. So just stay focused, understand the questions, answer them, and let's have fun.
Hey, you heard what she said. If you must know Taekwondo in the courtroom today, make sure your technique, your Shaolin technique is on point. Thank you, Another Nikki, aka Smiley. You know the vibes. I appreciate you. So that is our judge. There's our judge juror, as you can see. So they have a criteria which they are following, and I have an unbiased opinion in my court. I again am your honorable Judge Vibes of the court. Today's proceedings, we're going to bring our attorneys up. If you're a contestant on the show today, please box up. If you're a contestant, please box up. We have 2 teams, 2 contestants. We have 2 variations. We have 4 amazing people in the courtroom today, and they didn't come to play. Shout out to King Teflon, shout out to Aquarian Soul, shout out to Sassy Red, and shout out to Brookie in the building. We appreciate all y'all. So go ahead and start with introductions. We'll go ahead and start with the ladies first. Brookie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, people of the court. Good morning, losers. So, I am Brookie. Very nice to meet you. I am the founder of Locked In. If you are not locked in, you are locked out. You can catch me when you catch me. Okay? And I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Locked in, ready to go. Okay, let's get it. Miss Sassy Red. Wow, Miss Sassy. I don't know what's good. Y'all look amazing. I'm just letting you know. Y'all look amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Greetings, everybody. This is your girl, Miss Sassy Red. Hello, the Soup Cooler Connoisseur. You can usually catch me every other Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Modern Day with LB Drug, okay? Or as well as on Saturdays at 9 p.m. with my ladies during the She Code with Demi Goddess, Kind Hearted Babe, as well as 2 Cents.
You see the lips, you see the lip icons in the building. She's not coming to play today. The ladies did not come to play. All right, now we go to our gentlemen, aka the G's of the court today. We're going to start with Mr. Aquarian Soul himself. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself. Tell us where to find you.
Good morning, honorable judge vibes, like delegates of the court. I do believe that Brookie should be held in contempt for calling us losers. Absolutely. I'm a glitch in the matrix, so I don't be doing too much. I just be chilling, honestly, like, right? I'm admin for a plethora of different shows here on the app. Top bad shows, non-top bad shows, feature shows, and non-feature shows. Like, if you need to get on the show, either I can get you on or I know somebody that can. Like, I actually just started my own little show. Like, you know, like, Food for Your Soul with Aquarian Soul every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You want to know more about it? Come check us out. Mind your business.
Good morning, Grand Rising, all that. I'm King Teflon. I don't have a show going on, but I am the show. So, like, you can catch me in the mornings. You know, coffee time, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the gifts, just come have a conversation. That's a gift because it's present, you know? And
so we're going to get things started. What we're going to do is going to go to round 1. If you just join us, this is Love and Order. This is the baby. This is the embryonic. I love it. It's about to become a feature soon. We appreciate it. And we're going to get started with round 1, which is opening statements. Team 1 is going to be boxing up right now. During opening statements, each team boxes up. Each team boxes up one by one. So team 1 goes first, then team 2, and then last round, third round, team 2 will go first, and then team 1 will box up. Round 2, we're going to have both teams up where you get 1 objection per team in the round. So perfect timing. We appreciate y'all. We're getting ready to get this opening statement started. We're going to start with the lovely team 1. Put some respect on their name. We have Brookie and we have Sassy Red. So are the litigants ready for opening statements? Are you guys ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let the court say amen. No, not really that, but we're going to go ahead and say, go ahead and let's get things going. Shout to team 1.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we are here today to discuss 2 different perspectives, okay? Today, you will hear on our behalf how a partner with platonic friendships should be respected, knowing that it would lead to emotional support, personal growth, healthy boundaries, social skills, positive influence, as well as more. Now, for those that don't know, a platonic friendship is a meaningful relationship between 2 or more people without intimacies, okay, or romantic feelings or behaviors included. Okay, did you understand that? At the end of the trial today, we're going to ask that you find in favor of Team 1 with the evidence and information that we will provide.
Brookie, you have anything to follow up with that? We appreciate you. Okay, well, that's Team 1. We appreciate the opening statements. You guys box down, and we're gonna have Team 2 box up, please, and we'll go ahead and get started with your opening statements and get ready to get it. Gentlemen, it's your turn to go ahead and start with your opening statements.
ladies and gentlemen, today we're here to discuss the topic of having friends of the opposite sex while in a relationship. This is a complex, nuanced issue that touches on trust, communication, boundaries, and dynamics of the relationship. And it's important for us to recognize that every relationship is unique and it's not handled the same way. And what works for one couple may not work for another. However, it's crucial to have open and honest communication about this topic, the reason why we're talking about it here, to ensure the health and longevity of these relationships. Today's debate is going to explore the importance of setting boundaries to prevent infidelity and the importance of negative effects of jealousy and discomfort on a relationship. So the key word is this: communication and working this out. So we'd like to communicate, y'all, that we are going to make it make sense.
Shout out to the brothers. The brothers is making it happen today. Mr. Aquarian Soul, thank you, Mr. Teflon. We appreciate you, sir. Aquarian Soul, go ahead and tap in. No diddy.
So once again, I wanted to take it more into the court. I don't really have too much more to say outside of what my counterpart has already stated, because I believe he said it so eloquently. The only thing that I really want to drive home here is that what we're here to talk about today has to do with the importance of setting boundaries and what boundaries can do in order to prevent emotional infidelity in a relationship, right? What we're talking about is how not being able to set these boundaries can cause jealousy and discomfort, affecting your relationship overall throughout the long run, causing it to fail. And those potential benefits of addressing boundaries and when boundaries are broken and are stepped over, how respecting each other's concerns concerning these things can actually bring you closer, bring your relationship closer, and lead you to a long-lasting relationship. So outside of that, that's what we're here for.
Interesting. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you. If you're just joining us, this is Love and Order, episode 6, as they say in Espanol, my brothers who are from the Latino community. It's 6, episode 6, Aquarian Soul, and King Teflon just finished their opening statements, as well as Sassy Red and Rookie just finished their opening statements. That was round 1. Now we're about to go to round 2. The most important part of the court, I should say, is when we present evidence of a liability and to try to figure out if the case can be held and their statements can be held and to build on their case and win the case. This is what we're about to do right now. So we're going to bring both teams up at this point. Remember this, we're going to keep one objection per team this round. We're going to go ahead and allow team 1 to go ahead and present their arguments first and their evidence first. And while team 2 stand by, and they can also interject and object if they see fit.
Good morning, everyone. So we're going to shed light and highlight a few points in regards to the benefits of allowing your partner to have platonic relationships of the opposite sex. I'd like to highlight the fact of having respect for your partner's prior life, prior to you, respect for the relationships that have been built, respect for the friendships that have been built prior to you and this person coming together in a more intimate setting. So it's unrealistic to expect someone to cut off people that they have already, over the course of years, have made platonic relationships with. It can kind of skew things in a way that you might not expect. You asking someone to cut off relationships that people have already built prior to you guys coming together can also inhibit a sense of dishonesty with self. You think it's just cutting off these people. However, what else are you cutting off? I feel like it will give, or it can create an environment where one doesn't feel safe, to be honest, about oneself. And this comes with a multitude of things, not just friendships, but also with being honest about, personal things or things that have happened throughout the day. If you are uncomfortable with me having, these relationships, what else are you uncomfortable with me saying to you or sharing with you as a partner, right? So now that feeling of walking on eggshells behind me not being able to have friends of the opposite sex, can merit me to not want to share other things with you as well. And to be, feeling like there's not a safe place for me to be able to be honest about life, about friendships, about experiences and whatnot. So respect, allowing your person to invite their prior life into the relationship, to have that open, honest energy between one another. Also, I would like to highlight that there are times where there are business relationships, and these relationships turn into friendships. So now we take it a step further and say, you know is that not okay as well? If I can't have a platonic relationship or friendship, with the opposite sex, this is someone that I actually have a business with. This is someone that I actually make money with. This individual actually provides us to have the lifestyle that we do have. So how far does it go with you not wanting me to have friends of the opposite sex? Co-counsel. Thank you so much. Okay. I'd also like to at least provide those points of that it is necessary. It's definitely necessary to at least have those friendships of the opposite sex, being those platonic friendships, simply to reduce dependency on your romantic relationship. Understand you can't be all and everything to your partner. So at some point, to relay that burden, yes, I may go to my platonic friend because he may be a brother to me. He's very important to where he holds this standard in my life to where we can share and vouch for these things. So we don't want to burden you because you already got things to deal with. As my partner, as my mate, these things are also important. Thank you, Judge. Okay, now as I stated, it's needed. You need that outlet so that way you're not heavily adding these additions to your partner. I definitely feel like that is important. That also comes with platonic friendships. It's necessary to where it provides diverse perspectives. In case in point, us. We'll put tag into that. As individuals, you may have encountered yourself with people on here that you have good kinships with, good friendships with, to where you can vouch and bounce ideas off of each other. So because you've lived this different lifestyle, you may speak to my experiences more than what I may know on my own. So I do feel like providing those inputs, providing that information, providing that outlet into me to where we're pouring into each other can help us both grow. And not just only boundaries, because I do thank you guys for at least providing some of our points, but not just boundaries, healthy boundaries. Okay, it's necessary that you do provide those healthy boundaries emotionally. As a friend, you shouldn't be gossiping, within each other. Share those qualms with each other to where it is important to set those boundaries as well as respect the boundaries, because it is crucial in any relationship, not just platonic friendships. Thank you, Judge.
Team one, are you completely present your evidence? Sorry, evidence. All right, team one is presenting their evidence. If you're just joining us, team one just presented their evidence. We are in round two. The court of the case proceedings. Then we're now going to team two. I am your host, Judge Bob, the Honorable Judge Bob. Put some respect on the name. We're going to go to team two. We have King Teflon and Aquarian Soul about to proceed with their evidence in team round two. Let's get it. Let's get it going. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it going.
I'd like to point out that examples of emotional infidelity are like the issue in people's minds the most when it comes to members of the opposite sex while in a relationship. The fact of sharing intimate details and personal thoughts with someone outside of the relationship comes into play in a person's mind. It's in a person's psyche with dealing with that. And then also this person is supposed to be their partner, their counterpart, everything in the relationship, and the fact that they're seeking emotional support and comfort from someone else other than that causes an issue, especially during times of stress, sadness, or conflict, and deep, leading to a deep emotional connection with that person. But there's several other examples. Developing feelings of romantic attraction and infatuation, spending excessive amounts of time communicating with this person. These things wear down on the other partner. So the consideration of these effects and everything is a lot of times I see get missed. Comparing unfavorably to someone outside of the relationship, leading to it causes people to have ill ill thoughts and dealing with feelings, and it eradicates in a connection that a real partnership should have, a real relationship should have. And just the consideration on these things is what is needed, truly needed on these things. A partner could be like, why is my partner seeking validation? Why do they feel like they need to seek validation through someone else? Or what, or spin into intrusive thoughts, into an intrusive thought pattern, especially if it's someone that has a past, experiences that were very negative, and they're in a healing stage or whatever. The consideration of the partner needs to be taken. And a lot of times that's where we run into these problems, is the reason why we're sitting here talking about this. So respect is due.
Your co-counsel, Aquarian Soul, do you have anything you want to add to your co-counsel?
First off, once again, I wanted to thank my co-counsel for his eloquent manner in which he put everything that he wanted to express. When we go over and we talk about the feeling of uncomfortability and being threatened by a friendship, I feel like that if we're at that point, then there must have been something that was already done to cause that certain feeling. Which is what we're talking about here, is we're talking about boundaries. As Sassy so eloquently put it, healthy boundaries. Yeah. Right? So when we have healthy boundaries and things are properly communicated, as we're speaking about our concern about what is wrong, if I come to you and I say to you that I have an issue with something that has happened and you brush that off, or you try to minimize it and make it seem like it's not that big of a deal, then that is already a problem, right? Like, that is already not respecting the boundaries that I am coming to you with, the concerns that I have about the situation that we're having, and us trying to build a healthy, productive relationship. You wouldn't want me to do it to you, so why are you doing it to me? I understand that you have friends from the past. I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. No one's trying to tell you that you should not have friends, but there are certain lines that should not be crossed when we are at a certain point. If I'm your boyfriend, moving on to be your husband, why should I not be your best friend? Why should I not be the person that you come to confide certain things in? Why are you sharing certain things with other people? There are certain things that it's okay to share with your friends, and there are certain things that shouldn't be talked about. Because of the simple fact that we are together. It is us. It is not you. It is not me. It is us. I think a lot of times people forget that in these situations, is that certain things that I do may hurt you and certain things you may do may hurt me. The job is to minimize that, is to make that as less as possible. That's what stops jealousy, right? So if I feel like that you don't come to me with things that you're feeling, but you go to your friend, that creates jealousy. And in the most level-minded person, it creates the little bit of jealousy, that creates doubt. That shouldn't be there. Once you create that doubt, once you create that jealousy, it snowballs and it crosses over into things that it shouldn't. So why not just alleviate that problem in the first place and just be open and honest with each other, have that good, proper communication, and make sure that you are overall respecting each other. First off, you have to make sure you're addressing it. Let's not hold anything back. If you feel a certain kind of way, come talk to me about that. Just like if I feel a certain kind of way, I'm going to come talk to you about that. But addressing is only half the battle, when you have to make sure that you're respecting each other's concerns. Again, I go back to the fact that we're talking about this platonic friend that we had, that my partner has, right? So you have that platonic friend. That's fine. I have no problem with you guys being friends. I'm not here to talk about your future, your past, and what y'all did with each other or anything of that nature. All I care is about the now and the moving forward. However, when it comes down to it, the logical half of it is that if I can't come to you and tell you that I have a problem with your friend, you're always defending them, you're always trying to push the conversation somewhere else other than what I'm talking about, that is showing me a clear problem that even more needs to be addressed. In conclusion to this, right? It's not a problem with you having friends. That's never the problem, or it should not be the problem. If that's the problem, then that's another conversation. That's not the one that we're having right now. The conversation we're having right now has to do with the fact that we're addressing concerns. We're trying to make sure that we're keeping a balanced communication and making sure that within our communication, we're respecting boundaries, healthy boundaries, proper boundaries, with proper good communication skills like adults should have.
All right, I appreciate both arguments on both sides and presenting their evidence in the courtroom. If you're just joining us right now, this is Love and Order. I'm your honorable judge and host, Judge Vibes, and we are here with my two teams today. We have Team 1, Sassy Red, Rookie, and we have Team 2, Aquarian Soul, and King Teflon. This presented their round 2 evidence, and I have 2 questions for both of you. I have Team 1. The question is, and keep this brief, please, what is the importance of having childhood friends, and can that be implemented in your current relationship status?
Well, Judge, in the midst of all the things to take in, childhood friends, this is longevity in friendships, which is definitely necessary. Okay? I mean, you can't tell me that my friend of 15, 20 years, 30 years, that we can't coincide together to where we can't hang out and spend the time. It's touching on a bit of insecurity. It seems as though they're arguing our point because I thought this was platonic friends against those that did not want us to have these platonic friends. Is that not what we're here to discuss, Your Honor?
That's true.
Oh, okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Okay.
I also feel like tapping into what I said earlier and having respect for your partner's prior life, right? This goes toe to toe with that. You know, this has been your childhood friend. And I feel like, you know, the more important question is, what is the intent of you requesting that I do not have friends of the opposite gender? What is the intent behind it? Let's get to the root of the problem. Because to ask someone to kill a friendship that they have built 15, 20 years way prior to you coming around, where are we going? And I need to know the why. And what is the intent behind that? Because it's unrealistic. And I feel like it does, like my co-counsel stated, taps into a bit of insecurity that, you know, it should be a respect thing. You should respect that I have this friendship, that this platonic friendship, because that's indeed, in fact, what we are talking about today. Thank you, Judge.
I appreciate that. Thank you for answering that question. Team 2, really quick question for you is, can you still have a great relationship moving to the future, and can it hold longevity of responsibilities if you do have that in place? As long as you have standards and boundaries in place, can it afford you a longevity relationship? That means, 30, 40 years relationship.
This relationship we're in, what's the juice for the squeeze? Where we going with it? Are we doing this just to be doing this, or are we doing this for the future moving forward? That's the main question that pops in my mind when I'm in a relationship. Second, Team 1 mentioned about insecurities. And we also talk about boundaries and everything. These things are taken into consideration in the beginning to even be called a relationship. So when this is brought up and we're discussing these things, because this work needs to be done before, laid out as a map before any of these considerations can be taken. That's part of the communication. So when we're communicating, is this an insecurity or is this a concern? When it's said that it's an insecurity and let light, are you taking that person serious? Is empathy being placed down on feelings? Because feelings are requested to be taken on the other part. It's a back and forth connection. In order for us to move forward, we got to have that connection, that bridge first. So once we get that bridge and that connection, our boundaries going to be broken. Also, if I bring this up and I see some irregularities in things, is this called insecurity? Is that thrown lightly at you so that you can do? And then what's the reason for it to be called an insecurity if it's a concern? So that tells me there's a gap in communication and understanding.
I have a question. Did that simply answer the question? I don't think that answered the question.
Let's make sure we stay on topic, sir. And we answer the question, and we'll go ahead and let you guys go ahead and go into closing arguments, and then you can present more statements during that time. If you're just joining us right now, we just finished round 2, which is presenting evidence. Team 1 and Team 2 just presented their case and their evidence. Opening statements around 1, and now presenting their evidence in round 2. Now we're going to go straight into round 3. We're going to keep it brief. Keep it brief. And we're going to go into round 2 closing statements. And we're going to start with, we start with team 1 in round 1. So we're going to start with team 2 for closing arguments. Make it clear, concise, and get straight to the point, ladies and gentlemen. We got one time restraint. Let's make it happen. I appreciate team 2. Go ahead and do your thing. Team 2, that is King Teflon and Mr. Aquarian Soul. Go ahead and present your closing arguments.
So, in closing here, I feel like that the conversation has somewhat gotten misconstrued. So our conversation that we're supposed to be having has to do with one partner feeling a certain kind of way about them wanting to continue to have their close friend, platonic friend, and another partner who feels like that certain boundaries may be getting crossed. They're feeling uncomfortable and threatened. I understand that people call it gaslighting, but I don't recall anywhere within there being a conversation.
Mr. Red, can you please refrain from any humane gestures? That's a little bit over the top. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Praying Soul.
I don't remember there being anything in this conversation that was actually brought up by the judge about leaving anybody or telling people that you need to cut people off. I believe that was something that was stated by the defending counsel over here, which seems like a little bit of gaslighting on their part, because it just seems like I don't understand where that came from in any way, shape, form, or fashion in what we were talking about. We're talking about one person who wants to keep their platonic friend, they feel a certain kind of way. And we're talking about another person just coming with concerns and they feel a certain kind of way about certain things that they're seeing or what's happening. So we're talking about proper and effective communication, setting proper boundaries. And again, like my co-defendants, like my co-counsel stated, we're having a conversation and we're talking to you about concerns, and you're telling us that we're trying to make you leave your friend and cut your friend off. Like, where did that even come from in the conversation? Like, we talk about gaslighting. Is that not gaslighting? For me to come to you with a proper concern and for you to turn it into something other than what I approached you with? Is that not what that is? Like, are we in the same courtroom right now? I just want to figure that out. What we're talking about here is just being adults, being able to come to each other and tell you, hey, maybe certain things that you're doing with your friend concern me. It's not controlling. That's not controlling behavior. It's not gaslight. It's just saying that, hey, can we talk about this? I didn't ask you to cut your friend off. I don't know if that's a personal thing that maybe it's kind of like triggered there, but that's not this conversation. So I just want to make sure that we stay within this conversation. We understand that all we're talking about here on our side is being able to have clear, concise, effective communication that leads to progress. Not about cutting anybody off. It's all about just simply talking, being adults, and being able to express how you feel. I feel like that there may be some concerns, so let's talk about those. What concerns are those? How is this conversation going to go? It depends on if you actually care about what I'm saying or not. If you care about what I'm saying, you'll at least listen to me. It shouldn't become an argument. It wasn't an argument when I started it. How did it become one? That's what I want to know.
Also, like in conclusion, the debate, having friends of the opposite sex, it's actually a healthy thing for a relationship to see your partner be able to thrive, and it involves friends as well. And everything involves balance, you know. But in order to get there, you gotta try it. You gotta have that connection first. So getting past any methods of the breaking communication, of gaslighting or whatever it is, you just gotta come to a healthy understanding. And it's important so that you have the prevention of emotional infidelity.
And shout out to Team 2 closing arguments. They were just complete their closing statements. And now we're going to go for Team 1. Please keep it briefly. We're going to keep it brief. We got to go to the deliberation of juror, which they're probably deliberating right now. Make it good so you can win this case. Let's go. Team 1, let's do it.
So just to go back as to the information that we received as well from the bailiff, it states the other partner feels uncomfortable and threatened by this friendship, fearing it may lead to emotional infidelity. Was the statement that they were to be arguing. So I feel as though in the process they've tackled some of our points in there, which I thank you for the help and the assistance. So as we continue to provide this information, I just want to say, as on my behalf, the discussion isn't about gaslighting. Okay, there's other factors that are taken into consideration. Okay, the word threatened. All right, that could stem from childhood trauma as to why you may feel threatened. It might be a you problem, not us. Where's the trust? There's no issue in having concerns, but the topic is you're the one that has the concerns and you're the one that's feeling threatened. But if you're in this healthy relationship, providing healthy boundaries, where's the trust within your relationship? To trust in your partner that nothing unnecessary is taking place. In conclusion, navigating partners' discomfort with platonic friendships can be challenging and have various negative consequences for the relationship. It's essential to address these issues through open communication, thank you, keeping professional help or seeking professional help to ensure healthy and a balanced relationship. Thank you, Your Honor.
Objection.
No objections in the closed argument, so you cannot have objections. You cannot have objection.
Reiterating the topic at hand and exactly what we are discussing here today. You guys, it's nothing about gaslighting or whatnot. We want to simply highlight where your concerns are based from. And I think that is the point that needs to be looked upon here. Why are you uncomfortable with me having a platonic friendship with someone of the opposite sex? A lot of that, I see, like my co-counsel stated, it's a you problem and not necessarily a me problem. Let's, get into the intent of your request. And is it insecurity? Is it past trauma? Is it something that you grew up watching your daddy do? And is that the reason behind you?
Order in the court. Nikki is slandering, saying that her CEO is the best CEO in the courtroom. I have to silence you during this. Dude, don't you ever disrespect a judge in his own courtroom and say that he's the best CEO. Okay, order in the court. We'll hold you in contempt, and you are the bailiff. I will have you remove yourself. Thank you, Nikki 24/7. I appreciate that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I had to address that. It was bothering me, and I was perspiring.
I completely understand, Judge. You set the tone here, sir. I completely understand that. So getting back to it, yes, we like to, just highlight the fact of the intent of the request and why you are so uncomfortable with your partner having a platonic friendship. I do thank the opposing side for definitely highlighting some of our key points and facts as well, with the open communication and things of that nature. And yes, clear boundaries and healthy boundaries, as both sides have stated, are equally important. And with that, if those boundaries are set and that communication and that conversation has been had, then therefore, what is the problem moving forward? It just highlights, what's the intent of that? What is the true intent of you requesting that? And maybe, if we get to the bottom of that, then this can indeed be a healthy relationship with healthy boundaries and open communication. Thank you, Judge.
Oh, amazing. Both sides, very amazing statements. At this time, we're going to go into deliberation, jury deliberation, and we should have a verdict any second now. So we're going to have both teams boxed down, and we're going to wait for our bailiff to reappear. If you're just now joining us, we appreciate you. This is Love and Order. We have our team 1 and team 2 have just completed their closing statements, which is round 3. They completed round 1, opening statements, round 2, which is presenting evidence, and then we have round 3, which is closing statements. I am your honorable host and judge, the honorable, that's right, the honorable, this is Honor Court, the honorable Judge Vibes, aka CEO of Honor Family. We like to thank everybody for being in our live, keeping it respectful. We appreciate that, and shout out to, this is a Scout's honor as always, but please, under no jurisdiction, you're allowed to slander or defame or commit blasphemy on CEOs and put CEOs up against each other, because that would not happen in my courtroom. We appreciate the Scouts, and we appreciate everybody joining us today. We're going to wait for our bailiff to come, and we should have a juror deliberation. But in the meantime, we want to go into my little, I'm going to stay on my soapbox for a minute. We have heard the statements in both Team 1 and Team 2. A lot of people feel differently on both sides. I don't have a biased opinion, but I believe that many people may feel that having the opposite sex as friends can be a distraction. Depends on your standards and your boundaries of your relationship. It also depends on what you discussed prior to the relationship. And it also depends on how far along that friend was in a friendship before the relationship began. If it's a new type of relationship, then it might not be in your best interest to continue a friendship that was just begun. But who knows? It just depends on you and your standards and boundaries that come with the relationship. Everybody's relationship is different. It can destroy, I've seen it before, it can destroy a relationship if the standards and boundaries are not stated in the beginning of how one partner feels about the argument. With that being said, we're bringing our bailiff, aka Nikki 24/7.
I do believe that they have actually reached a verdict. They have actually reached a verdict, so I know that they are coming out. They may need a little bit of escort out, so I sent somebody back to get them because it was pretty heated in here, y'all. The courtroom was hot. The comments were thick. Y'all had a lot going in on there. I'll talk to you afterward because I'm not going to talk about how what Honor family did in my own house, at my brother's house last night over dinner. We're not going to talk about that in court.
Is this a petty court case we're talking about? I think we're putting a petty court.
We're not going to do that.
Is this petty court we're building? I thought this was I think we're building a petty case here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a petty case. Shout out to my favorite alien, who's also actually a juror in this case. Hey, thank you so much for, doing what you do and being fantastic the way you're fantastic. Thank you for being fantastic the way you're fantastic and all that good fantastic stuff. I appreciate you.
So we have come up with a verdict, and this was a very close case. And drum roll, and it goes to the ladies today. Shout out to Sassy Red and to Brookie for winning their case. We just want to break it down to the fact of persuasiveness. That was the sway. The gentleman had a hard time being persuasive to the argument at hand. The women were very clear and direct about the case when it came to the points that they were bringing. With the men, it was a little bit unclear at times what side they were on. So be clear, be direct in your eye contact, and be very strong about your position when you're bringing this case. There were points that the men did really well, but consistently across the board, the women were more persuasive today. So thank you guys so much. It was my pleasure doing my jury duty today.
Shout out to Naj on an amazing show last night. I know this not has anything to do with the court, but I just wanted to give you my flowers in a court of law, and we appreciate you for all you do and being the alien that you are. Thank you for your intergalactic opinions and judgment on today's show, and we appreciate you for coming to judgment. So you heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. The jury has come to the decision in favor of Team 1. Court is adjourned. Decisions have been made. We appreciate y'all. If you're just joining us, this is the end of the court case. I am your host, judge, and host, the Honorable Judge Vibes. Put some respect to my name, CEO of Honor Family. We appreciate you. Shout out to the scouts in the building. Shout out to Casper, my other CEO, brother, brethren, aka cousin, aka he does it better. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for everything you do.